In this video, let's talk about running a prompt locally with the new Chrome local Gemini Nano model. We have the ability now to run this page, which I originally created over a year and a half ago. And it was working against, and still works, against the paid providers, if you wanted to go that route. But now, since Chrome supports the local language model baked in, and we can see there was no network traffic to trigger this, we have the ability to run a prompt along with a document in this case and get results. All for the price of free, all for the price of private. None of this data is leaving this machine. I can't stress that enough. That is super important. You now have the ability to run complex prompts, and I'll cover this in a second, as well as documents, all within your browser. Now your performance is going to vary. It's going to vary based on the machine. If you wanted to use services that you pay for and send the data over to those machines, of course they have the most powerful GPUs and the setups, so your response time is going to be what you're paying for, as well as hopefully the content being returned correctly. But in this instance, nothing gets sent. In this instance, everything is relying on the local machine. So again, you're looking at probably a newer device. And in this case, I'm running an Intel Core Ultra 258V laptop. So that chip has a neural processing unit in it. And it also has the virtual GPU. So my performance isn't fantastic, but it meets the criteria that you need to run this type of a setup right now. And the prompt here is not a simple prompt. It's not just saying, hey, give me this simple answer. I'm actually doing RAG here, Retrieval Augmented Generation. And because of that, it's going to take a little bit more time, especially locally. So here I'm asking it to do some computations, and I'm also asking it to write out some HTML based on the computations. So this isn't really a simple prompt. I'll have other videos in the future that can cover doing more simplistic things and see if the performance is markedly better. But again, this is private, this is local, this is free. Okay. How is this all happening? It's happening because of Google and Chrome, the browser, and the folks working there, building into the browser architecture support for a local language model, and then opening up APIs that you can use that language model. And in a prior video, I showed how I'm able to run an HTML page off of my hard drive, no server, and have it work with the language models. So here I'm in Docusign CLM, and what I'm doing is I'm getting some results from the Docusign server where the document is found, clauses, etc. And then I'm building on top of that, but everything is working locally. There's no phone home code here. There's no traffic over a server. And this is being and doing all the analysis locally on my device. So with that said, different requirements are needed for your machine. So here they lay it out for the hardware requirements as well as some of the GPU requirements. Now I do not have a dedicated graphics card on this laptop. I do not. The Intel Core Ultra actually provides me that neural processing unit, as well as some virtual GPU concepts here. So if I had maybe a pure GPU, performance is going to improve. These are things that are out of my wheelhouse in terms of being able to speak to, but we can see here there's been no network traffic, and I'm just waiting now to get some of the results back from the language model to then present that back to the page. Free and private. There's trade-offs. If I wanted to use and send this over to the paid providers, the response time is going to be a bit better. I've also found that response time varies even within. So your mileage is going to vary here, but what's the power? The power is your data is staying private. It's staying where you want it. And in less than a year and a half's time now, we're seeing this take place. We're seeing this come into the browser space. And we can see here that it actually ran and presented my results and did the analysis that I'm looking for it to do. Now I had my calculation off for the seconds and how long it took, so it looks like it's still just computing the full seconds. And we can do the math, or you can check the video length and you'll see, again, there's some variability there, but it did what I wanted it to do. It took the prompt, it took the document, and it has computed ratings across these. And I can tell you within the margins that I'm seeing, and we could run this against Anthropic, or we can run this, well, OpenAI can run it against. I need to move the Anthropics over here as well. Or put them all in both, and then you can run any permutation. It's giving us an overall score. This was done all locally. The output that you saw flash here, this is just me piping out to the console with the results when they come back. So I obviously screwed up for seconds is not defined. Anyways, you can see here though, this was the RAG. So this is the initial information that we got from the model. These three backticks with the HTML, that's coming from the raw model. And it output a table for me. And that's pretty much what I asked it to do inside of the prompt. And now as I scroll down, that's the raw that came out. I clean that up. And I say, well, I really just want the rows. So I'm going to remove the table wrappers and the backticks, and I'm just going to go with the TR and the TDs. So those are my rows and my cells. And then I compute, and I just tweak it a little bit. This is, again, I could do this more inside the prompt if I wanted to, for sure. But the JavaScript here is very minimal in terms of cleaning this up and then getting it ready to actually start the computations for the percentages based on what the AI, the language model, determined the rating to be. That's all determined by the language model. And the color choices are derived from the color choices provided in the prompt. So this thing did what it was told, and it output it in a way that is able to then be consumed by chart.js. So I've got a donut chart here and I have a bar chart. And that is then displaying the variability. So if you were to look and say, okay, what areas of this document do I need to take a look at? Well, it looks like warranties and liability and indemnification are a problem. Or at least it's something I should review more. And a fast follow could be disputes. All depends on what the business needs. But this is all local. There's no network traffic. There's nothing happening here that sent this data someplace else. And if that's super important, then now you have a way all within the browser to do this. And again, I can't stress enough, privacy free. This is coming baked with the Chrome browser. The Edge browser is also going to start to offer this, I believe, as well. You're going to see all the browser providers start to do this. One of the keys, I think, to understand, though, is are you going to be given a choice? In this case, it's Gemini Nano, and that may be good enough for what your needs are. But what if you wanted to be able to hit other local models and have them baked into the browser? That may be coming. I'm not sure. What also is going to be coming, though, for sure, is your ability to build this natively within HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, which you can do it today. In my prior video, I show how this is possible. But in this video, I'm doing this within the Docusign CLM. Now, why is that important? Because its architecture supports custom building. That's immensely important. This document lives within the CLM. These clauses live within the CLM. This prompt is in the CLM. The CLM is a database, and that's where this information is. But the proper approach is open architecture. So soapbox moment, SaaS providers that want people to be able to extend their platform, they will be the ones that allow this type of integration to happen, because there's no additional cost then outside of building the form for this type of information to work. So now envision even a Lightning Web component if we were on Salesforce that would be able to take whatever information via the prompt and whatever you have that you wish to send and send it all to a local model for computation or review or whatever you're going to do with it. You can envision architectures that are open and allowing for custom creation to allow users to extend that platform. And if you do want to use commercial grade LLMs, go for it. But if you want to stay local, or you want to judge local against the commercial, you have that opportunity. And this does not require you to step outside the browser. Yes, you can run local language models with other tooling, 110%, and that is fine. But you start to get into issues if you wanted to keep someone in the same environment and not force them to fire up a separate application. Well, in this instance, the user can stay within their CLM, and this could be integrated at any step of the process. So if something is sent for external review and it comes back in and you want to have the local language model process it, you have the ability to do that. If you want to write your own prompts and identify your own key data points, you have control. Those are things that may not be in the offing for other providers. So privacy, freedom to do what you wish with your data, those are important subjects to consider when looking at local language models and what is possible today. Thanks.